out of cloaking for Leta, so it's gonna run away. It actually could have stayed there and kept fighting, or before Iris's Wraiths popped. And Iris's Wraith has also lost its cloaking, run out of energy, but it's sitting there still popping SCVs. And the SCV building Iris's academy is again going to go down. He just cannot get a comsat station up, whereas Leta has managed to get a comsat station up, and that is going to be a huge advantage for him. And Leta still, now he's going to go to the natural and do more economic harass. Kills another one. 9 kills on one of those Wraiths. And he's got 2 Wraiths here microing against 1, so that is a huge advantage. And yeah, both players trade Wraiths, but Leta still has 1 more left here in Iris's base, and that is one concern. I gotta think that that's the CJ Entus coach, because he looks very, very concerned. And Iris also lost his Wraith that was there in Leta's main, and Leta still has a Wraith doing SCV damage, because Goliaths have been produced now for Leta, so these Wraiths are not going to be able to do too much for Iris much longer. And yeah, Iris is going to scan and finally got a scan up, and is going to take down that Wraith for Leta. So I expect both these players to stop producing Wraiths, maybe produce 1 more or 2 more maybe for Leta for scouting purposes, and that's about it. And I think they'll both transition, if they continue to use their starports, I think they'll both transition into dropships. Command center finally built for Iris, and it is going to land there at the natural, and Leta's actually going to lift his starport and try and fly it away, but that is a dangerous idea, because when it's in the air it takes a lot more damage from Wraiths, and for some reason Iris is not going to go take it out. He really should. He could very easily go and take that out, but he's moving his Wraiths behind to his natural there. Not too sure why. I think he suspects that something's coming when it isn't. There's nothing coming, Iris. There isn't. I promise you. There's nothing coming there. Although it does look now that Leta's moving out a ground army. I don't know what it is. It is 2 tanks, 2 Goliaths, an SCV, and 2 Wraiths moving out now into the middle of the map. And Iris is going to move out into the middle as well to counter this, because obviously you do not want to lose map control in a TVT. You really need map control, especially with your tanks. If you can establish a good tank line early and start containing your opponent in, it gives you a huge advantage. And second machine shop going down on that factory for Iris. Iris needs to micro this tank, and he is not microing that tank. He should have been able to micro that tank and possibly save it. And now we're going to see more of a combat here, and the Wraiths for Leta do go down, and the 2 tanks for Leta are just going to be forced to retreat, but they're going to be taking shots from these Wraiths the whole time back, and I think they're both going to go down. I don't think he's going to be able to save them. I highly doubt it. Yeah, it does look like it's going to go down. Goliath going to try, and SCV going to try and come and save it, but I don't think it's going to really matter. Actually, nope, yeah, the tank does go down, but that Goliath did get some shots in there, and siege is done for Leta, so he's going to fight this push back just by having that tank already sieged. But Iris, if he wants, can set up a cordon here, a contain, by using the ridge in that middle base there of Heartbreak Ridge. He can start putting some tanks in there and start establishing a contain, which would be really, really good of him. I'm not sure what he's choosing to do. He's going to see the starport is flying back, so he's going to use his Goliath and a couple Wraiths there to take it down. Actually, he's moving behind the base there, behind the natural, so he's going to mine out the back there or blow up the temple, one of those two, and do it that way. Actually, he's going to try tanking from this. Does that work? Does that work, tanking from this mineral line? Apparently you can tank the refinery from the 3rd base there at the top there. I had no idea that you could actually tank from there. That is awesome that he can do that. And Leta going in now to try and stop this. He's taking some extra. He's using his starport for vision, but his tanks aren't quite in range. He needs to move them a little bit closer, but that's going to put them in danger of Iris's tanks taking extra shots. He's going to have to be careful. And Leta bringing in a siege tank, and it's taking shots at the at Iris's, but I don't. Okay, it actually did succeed there. I was thinking that the mischance would actually give it enough an advantage to possibly win that for Iris, but it did not. And this is going to get cleaned up. I don't think the refinery went down, so it was a good idea by Iris. Unfortunately, it did not quite work as well as planned. 4 factories up for Leta, and I see 1, 2, 3, 3 factories and a 4th one produced for 4 factories for Iris with 2 machine shops, and 4 factories now just finished for Leta with 2 machine shops. And Leta's moving out of his base a little bit, going to build some tanks, and have them slowly push out of his base and establish, some sort of a semblance of a defense. And Iris is going to try and prevent this. He's going to try and stop Leta from moving out, and force Leta to play on his side of the map. And that's going to let Iris expand more if he wants to, whenever he chooses. And it actually looks like he's setting up for a base in that bottom left-hand position. I think that was an SCV that moved into that area, and yes it is, so he will be producing his third, he will be setting up his third base quite shortly. Interesting to note, neither player has produced a dropship yet, but it does look like Iris' starport is producing something, probably a dropship at this point, and Iris now moving out with 4 vultures that also have mines, so he's going to try and do some damage here. And Leta moving out, he's going to find that these tanks are trying to set up a contain on him, and he's going to try and take them out, and Iris is also going to stop Leta from setting up his third, and this is a great attack by Leta. He actually managed to take out the tanks one by one because they were spread out almost too much there, and they weren't supporting each other as much as you would ideally like them to. Starport has been landed and another control tower has been built, so that's going to be for dropships for Leta as well. And Iris is trying to get in here with his vultures to do some harass, and they all get killed. All 4 vultures get killed. None of them get through to the mineral lines. They're doing no damage. They place some mines on different parts of the map, but no actual damage was done, unfortunately, for Iris. So that is very bad for him. 4 vultures that didn't really do anything. And dropship has been produced for Iris. Something's in it, I assume, because it's moving. I don't know what, though. And mines are being planted in the bottom of the map by Iris to prevent this push by Leta. It also has some tank support there. And now that dropship is moving, but it's going to get seen by the SCV in a moment here for Leta, and we're going to see what's in that dropship and how Leta responds. Leta now knows, and not seeing too much of a reaction from him quite yet. That's command center being produced at the right there, and that dropship could easily take that down and stop certainly stop that SCV from producing anything, from finishing that command center, and also do a lot of damage. And Leta's going to clean up the middle here, take the middle, while Leta's going to clean up and take the middle, whereas Iris is dropped 2 tanks there behind the mineral lines, stop that SCV from building that command center anymore, and now is shelling the natural mineral line. Leta now moving into the middle, gonna run into some spider mines. He needs to be careful, otherwise those are gonna go off and kill. Oh man, that killed those spider mines. Killed 3 tanks. There's more mines. Leta, be careful! Oh my God, Leta lost 6 tanks just now to spider mines, and there was only minimal support from Iris's tanks there, and Iris's tanks there at the back did quite a bit of damage, I think, and I'm not sure what was trying to be built there for Leta, but Iris's vultures also stopped that from being produced in front of his natural. I don't know what that was. That was another command center, actually. Iris is stopping Leta from putting up his 3rd command center very, very effectively. He's killed several SCVs that have been trying to build them and forced Leta to even cancel one and then start producing a 2nd one. So that was Iris is doing a great job here. If he can pick off that command center again. 3 dropships out now for Iris, and he's moving out towards the bottom of the map, and he's going to try and work on Iris's 3rd base. And Iris is going to see it right now with that barracks and those 2 siege tanks, and he needs to respond very, very quickly in order to not lose too many SCVs and not lose too much economy. And Leta's actually not going to drop at the 3rd. He's going to drop behind that base in the 2nd there for the natural there. And Iris trying to throw up mines, but they're going to be too slow. And Leta is going to get all of his dropships down, and those Goliaths are going to stop the SCVs, and they're going to